Welcome back. Years ago, there was this cute boy in school, and I remember looking at his adorable face, and then he turned it to the side, and his head was perfectly flattened back. I remember thinking at that point, when I have kids, I want them to have perfectly round little bowling ball heads. In 1994, my first child was born, and it was at the exact same time that the Journal of Pediatrics and the whole world announced we were doing a back to sleep campaign as they realized that SIDS was highly connected with babies who slept on their tummies. So of course, my little baby was sleeping on her back, and she could sleep up to 16 hours a day. So it was really important to me to guard her little skull because I knew that baby skulls are soft, their heads are heavy, and their necks are weak. So we've got to reposition the head once in a while. How do we do that safely? Also, torticollis is another condition of flathead syndrome, and that's when a baby gets so used to their head being in one position that they're maybe most comfortable in, whether it's one side or the other, that their neck muscles get really stiff, and they end up favoring kind of that side all the time, and they tilt their head to one side all the time. Those things are totally preventable. We see signs at about 2 months old, and up until about 3 months is kind of the time frame we really need to be working hard to prevent this flathead syndrome. First, at night when you're laying them down to sleep in their crib, try alternating their positions every other night. One night put their head at this end of the crib, and the opposite night put it at this end of the crib. Babies tend to get a little fixated with what's on the outside of their crib, so each time they're turning their head outward to see what's there. Next, you want to provide lots of tummy time. It's wonderful for strengthening those neck muscles and the back muscles for baby. And then there's the upright position of skin-to-skin contact. Refer to my first video for more information about that. It's wonderful. It's a full hour of skin-to-skin upright contact with your baby. That keeps them off their head as well. And also using your baby carrier. Keeps your hands free. You can still run around the house and do things, but your baby's not sitting in a swing or a bouncer seat all day on their heads. These things are all wonderful for preventing flathead syndrome. And lastly, you could use positioners. I brought a few with me today to show you how to use them. Most importantly, we do not want to use these things with our babies unattended, only in our presence. They're kind of pillow-like, so we can have a risk of suffocation there. I think the best place to use a positioner is on your baby's changing table because you never walk away from your baby when they're on their changing table. And this one I brought is called the Baby Moon. I love this one. It's a terrific positioner because it actually prevents the back of baby's head from touching the flat changing table. It's terrific. And you just place it behind your baby's head like this as a pillow. Remember, again, we don't use these unless we're with our baby. The other positioner I brought is called the Tortle. This one's geared more to preventing torticollis in your baby. That's if you notice them positioning their head, favoring one side more than another. And if you see their head tilted to one side a little more often than not, that's because the neck muscles are starting to get stiff there. This one is actually a hat. You place it on their little heads, and this little bumper piece prevents them from putting their head in the position that they are more accustomed to having it in that's causing that torticollis. So they resist doing that and instead will turn their head the opposite way, evening things out a bit. Remember, hats are not recommended for sleep because they don't allow baby to regulate their body temperature. Regulating their body temperature is really important in preventing SIDS. So don't use this when they're sleeping at night. These are just a few of my suggestions. But if you notice a little flat spot on your baby's head or anything that might resemble torticollis, make sure you consult with your pediatrician. All right, that wraps it up. Thank you for joining me. I'm Jenni June. Enjoy your baby.